a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dreams. As I look upon my life, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dream.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk with Joan. This is Thursday morning, a beautiful morning, and we are so grateful for life, right? So yes, when you, if you are out there and you are online, we want you to chat with us. This morning, it is all about connecting, checking out, how do you go about certain things and what do you do when things happen in your relationships? Because we are actually talking, our topic for today is love and respect. So I think this is a broad topic, and you know what? I actually also have a book on love and respect for you that you can get. This is a very, very good book. We once did it at the Marriage Connection, and really, truly speaking, it is a very, very good book. So if you can get this book at exclusive at Kum, you will find this book. So it is Love and Respect. This book can help you through the difficult times in your relationship. So that is from me to you, so that you can have a reference, when things goes a little bit haywire and you don't know how to get it back on track. Use this book, Love and Respect. It helps a lot. So yeah, it is Thursday morning, girls.
Yeah.
And I want you just to greet the viewers out there and just say hi.
Hey to all our Insights family. It's really exciting to have a show today because it's in the week of Valentine's Day. So we want to get and talk all about love, and we're excited to be sharing this forum with you. So if you had a great Valentine's Day, big ups to you. If you had a medium one, don't worry, there's always next year. And don't forget, you can send yourself flowers. It is permitted. But
that's true.
We're going to enjoy just having a conversation about love and all that makes it tick and count. And it's going to be good.
Hi, good morning all. Wow, I'm excited to be here in the Love Week. And fortunately, like Pastor Lee said, I actually got some roses, and I'm so happy because you know what? I was actually tempted to buy myself flowers. And then I actually gave a little, warning, like a hint. Is it a hint?
Fair warning.
A free warning, like this is what I would like. And so yeah, I'm happy to be here this morning, and I'm looking forward to our topic, which is a general topic, I would say.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely
A very beautiful topic, and but it could also have a lot of challenges as well. So I'm looking forward
absolutely,
to this.
because relationships is challenges, right? When you're in a relationship, you come from different backgrounds, you come from different home, you come from different mannerisms.
So
There's
true.
so
So
many things,
true.
And you didn't grow up together. It wasn't the same mom and dad.
Yes.
But now that you come together, you actually have to sacrifice the things that, or unlearn, if I may put it that way. Unlearn is a better word. You unlearn certain things that you were used to doing, when you were a single woman or when you were in your mother's house. But now that you are together and you are building a life together, it changes.
No, it does.
Somehow it just changes.
Yeah.
But before we go any further, guys, because we already in the topic, so that's how excited we are for this topic. So happy Valentine's. If you had a nice Valentine's Day, as Lee said, we are so happy for you. We last minute actually decided we're going to go out for dinner. My husband wanted to take me for lunch, but I already had a friend-a-times dinner.
Yeah.
a lunch.
Yeah.
Lunch.
You know,
Yeah.
my friend and I already said we're
Yeah.
gonna go for lunch
Yeah.
because maybe the men will take us out for dinner.
Dinner,
Yeah.
But then my husband wanted to go for lunch. I said, no, sorry, guy. I already have a plan.
Stand in the queue.
So he said, no, let's go for dinner.
Yeah.
And we had to phone all over. Violet
Yes.
knows I phoned her. Your guy, girlfriend,
But
how
it was
do we
fully
get
booked
some
everywhere.
It would be, yeah, it's like a
Everywhere.
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
So so we went to this place. Well, we chatted
Yeah.
because Sandy and you know, it's my
Frank,
best
yeah.
friend, and we actually with her and her husband,
Yeah.
they just came.
Yeah.
We had a lekker chat.
I
Woo.
can imagine.
It was so nice, you know.
Yeah.
So we enjoyed. We
Yes.
actually enjoyed it so much. But yeah, if you have your
Happy for
mirrors,
you.
it's a mirror time. It's mirror time. So you know the signature of Talk with Joan is actually the mirror, because I love looking into the mirror when things are dreary and things are a bit dark. You know, like load shedding.
You still look in the mirror when, girlfriend.
Yeah, no, I look into the mirror, girlfriend. I look into the mirror because when you watch the news and you see things all around you, and it really is so dreary and
so
it's
true,
so
eh?
dark and the weather is not
we've got
lekker, it's grey, and then you just look into the mirror and
You've gotta
just
cheer
you know,
yourself up, you know.
yeah, nee, man. You
Some
pack your
pep
own shoot.
talk.
You remember last week's thingy? Yeah, you pack your own shoot. So
That's it.
I always learn to look into the mirror.
Yeah.
Right.
So because it was Valentine's Day and because we are talking on love, you know, it's a love thing. Yeah, it's a love thing. So because we are talking on love and respect, I want you to get your mirror out, and I want you to actually also send us, if you're online, send us a note, you know, and just tell us a little bit. When something happened in the relationship, right, there was a little bit of a quarrel,
Yeah.
a misunderstanding. Okay, how do you make your husband or your partner tick again?
That's a difficult
Right?
question.
How do you make them tick again to get things back, to change the atmosphere?
Right. Ooh.
So, what will you do to get the atmosphere back to normal?
Sure.
Right?
Ay, my jene.
Violet,
Joan,
kom nou.
that's a hard one, you know. But do you want to know the romantic way, or do you want to know the practical
No, sometimes,
way?
sometimes couples don't sort out the quarrel
Oh, okay.
or the misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And do you know that it actually makes the gap bigger
It does.
if you don't sort it out?
If
If you just go to bed
Yes,
and
if-
you just want him to be with you, or he wants you to be with him, that does not solve the problem.
No,
it doesn't.
I absolutely agree with you, because actually it becomes like a cold war.
Absolutely so.
You sleep on this side of the bed, and you sleep on the other side of the bed, and it feels like, you know, it's so hard to.
Yeah.
So I think what I try to do from experience is to by solving the problem immediately, is just to start talking again. Or I know my husband by now, like asking things like, would you like dessert? You know, after dinner.
because
If
he
I
loves
say
dessert.
He loves dessert.
Okay.
He loves his chocolate.
Okay.
And I'll just put the chocolate next to his bedside, and he'll know things are okay. You know, Pastor, late Pastor
Colbert.
Steve used to say, "Ek sla net so op 'n bout."
And then she knows we're good again.
En sê my ma moet jy vir jou laf hou nie.
And we used to laugh about that, eh? But I guess it's important to immediately, like quickly, as quick as possible, just find or know what your partner's like, and solve the issue or the conflict. Otherwise, it just grows and
into
becomes
a chasm
more
in your relationship.
Yes.
But people have different timings as well. Some people
Yeah.
can get over something really
Yeah,
fast, and
quick.
other people
Yes.
need to
Yes,
simmer a little
that's
bit.
right.
Yeah.
So I suppose over the years you get to see, what your timing or what your time frame is.
Yeah.
I think what makes my husband tick is different things in different circumstances.
Yeah.
So if it's something major, we do need time to kind of just let it simmer.
Right.
And then I think just starting the conversation again, helps to know that the lines of communication are open again, and the war is over, the Cold War. And then I suppose in the affectionate way, it is also, I like your thing about the chocolate, but I'm also suggestive with, can I make you some lunch, or can I get you this, can I do that for you?
That's nice, I like that.
Yeah, so I suppose just friendly suggestions also help the situation.
Yeah.
And then I think just sometimes just ripping the Band-Aid off and just speaking about something, no matter how hard it gets.
Yes.
I think that practice gets easier over the years.
Yeah,
Yes.
it definitely
It does.
It does.
It does, yeah, because firstly you proceed with such caution.
Yeah,
But I think while you're in it for a couple of years, you're like, you know what, let's throw caution to the wind right now because I need resolve on the situation.
You know what was something that I just remembered now, because my husband is a spiritual, person, and don't like to talk, really, he's not a talker, I would use a devotion time. So just after devotion, I tackled it.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Yes, I do. Then I think, okay, let me start talking about it now, because now Jesus is going to be in this conversation. Jesus is going to help me now.
Yeah. I just want to say, as Leanne said, it gets better over the years,
Yes,
because
it does.
each person knows.
Yeah.
You know
You
your
learn a bit
partner.
more.
Definitely.
You know your partner in such a way that if you're going to say anything now, it's
Yeah.
going to spark and add fuel to the fire.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there are times that you have to immediately address it
Yeah.
when the atmosphere and the spirit is right.
Yeah.
And there are times that you just have to wait a while
Yeah.
to see, when's the right time
Yeah.
that I can actually go for this thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know, with me, I'm a type of person, I can't be false.
Yeah.
I know for the past time we had a conversation on that
Yeah.
sometime back last year or so,
Yeah.
where I said, to me, I can't, I don't know, and you know what, it's so in me
Yeah.
that sometimes it can put me into trouble, to be honest with you, because I sometimes just say things,
Yeah.
not thinking or
Through it, yes.
meaning to hurt or to do whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, I'm that type of person.
Yeah.
I can immediately just confront the situation.
Yes.
I can just say,
Yeah.
so now what's up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my husband's the same.
Right.
My husband is actually, the duck stapler, right?
Stall
duck
stapler.
big stapler.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
that is
I
when you
do
go
know
into
that.
your
Ooh.
own
That
space,
closet,
Space, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You go into your little corner.
Right.
So you don't talk,
Yeah.
you don't do anything. And a lot of us as women, we know what that is,
Yeah.
right? So you just go silent.
Yeah.
And then you walk around with your duck bag.
Yeah.
And then my husband he'll ask, so what's
What no?
up? What is
that's
no
an-
verkeerd?
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
So that also gives you an opportunity now to talk,
Right.
Yeah.
right? I'm now there where I want to go for coffee.
Yeah.
I
So
want to
you
take you
manage
for
the
coffee.
environment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's actually that's good.
That
yeah.
is actually
Wisdom.
good, yes. To
So,
take,
so
But you do
let's
the
go
same
for
thing
coffee.
with your devotion. You're like, I'll
Yes.
wait for Jesus to be around, and you're like, I'll wait for some caffeine.
Yeah, and I think it works. I think the
yeah.
environment's different. I think you're more relaxed,
yeah.
to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Well, God forbid if something must happen there in the restaurant.
Yeah.
So they'll think twice.
No, this is good stuff. This is gold.
So,
Managing
yeah,
environments
so, yeah.
to get your
Right.
to get your innings.
Yeah, get the atmosphere back.
Yeah,
You know, the quicker you can do it, the better for you.
Yes.
Because, as Violet said,
Yeah.
I don't know, there was a poem those years that when there was abuse, when the husband abuses the wife, or
Yeah.
vice versa, the one partner will then come with roses. In this case, it was the man will just come with roses,
yes.
because the woman, he knows that the woman's heart is like softening, soft. It softens because you like flowers. Not everybody loves flowers. Not all women love flowers. Just to put it out there.
I didn't know that.
I'm now that type of person. I love flowers.
Yep.
I just love it.
Yeah.
So now that is the type of situation, you know, that when he does something wrong, and instead of correcting it,
Yes.
He just patches
he
it.
just patches it with flowers.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Hence, I'm saying, be careful. Be careful of doing that, because you will never solve the
Band-Aid
problem.
on
You
the-
will never
yeah.
solve the quarrel. You will never solve the misunderstanding.
Yes.
And hence, if you don't solve it, it
repeats.
accumulates.
Yeah.
It accumulates, and it
comes
makes
back.
the gap bigger,
Right.
because human beings don't forget.
Yeah.
So there's certain things that's in the memory line, in your memory.
And that's more prone for women to do. It's like we
Very true,
We
sir.
keep
Very
things,
true.
We keep things and we list them.
Yeah.
And then in an opportune moment, you'll get the whole list.
Right.
You know, you just need one more item on the list to break the camel's back. from
Yes,
underneath,
yes, yes.
And then you'll let it all out. And that is an accumulation. And
Yeah.
while that is happening, it creates an environment or an atmosphere in your house and in your relationship.
Right.
And if this happens often enough, it creates a cycle in your
Yes,
relationship.
yes.
Where you do things, you remain unaccountable. I add it to my list of grievances.
Yes,
And then we have a big blowout. And then that is traumatic and it takes long to recover
Right.
from.
Yeah,
So I think
and you get
managing
to
your-
mention the past.
Yes, all
you
the
know,
time.
all the time,
Yeah.
all the time. So if a man cheated,
Yeah.
especially, or a woman cheated,
Yes.
it will always come up in a fight. So to me,
yeah,
if you
even if it
solve
was
the
about
problem,
milk.
even if it's about milk,
Yeah.
So there's
you
a
would cheat.
there's an
Yeah,
elephant in
yeah.
the room. So my thing is, the best thing is deal with it and let it go.
Oh. Yeah.
Let it go. Rebuke it when it comes back up.
Not
That's
easy
my
though,
thing.
eh? It's not easy, but it's something that you deliberately have to work at. Joan.
Nothing is easy, Violet, when you have to deal with yourself. Nothing's easy.
Yeah.
But if you continuously do it, it
Right.
becomes easier.
Yes.
You know, if
yes,
you
yes.
are the one to every time
Yeah.
say, you know what, Angel, I'm sorry, I don't want this atmosphere
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
You know, especially if you have little children.
Yes.
Believe you me, I'm that type of person.
Yeah.
I don't like atmosphere.
Yeah.
I can confront it immediately.
Right, right.
I just don't like it.
Yes.
But if someone don't want to change,
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
that's up to them.
Yeah.
I'm already like that. I say it in my mind.
Yeah.
I say to myself, well,
Yeah.
Joan, there's nothing you can do about the situation.
yeah.
This is now not in the relationship per se of
Yeah.
your husband and wife.
Yeah.
Because there you live with a person every day.
Yes.
But in relationships with friendships, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
with people out there who's secondary or what if I can
Yes,
say.
yes.
So there I say to myself, you know what, there's nothing I can do about this. I tried.
Yeah.
Okay.
But where I am at
So you do
now,
what you can, and then you
Yes.
accept,
Yes.
expect the
Yes.
other party to actually respond and be responsible.
That's right.
Right.
No, I'm the same way, and I find that it's not only easier, but it's better to do that, because if you don't, you will continually have a boundary infringement
Yeah.
on your, and you will be responsible for something that was not yours to be
Most
responsible
definitely.
for. And it even
Most
happens.
definitely.
It even happens in ministry where we
Oh,
we
yes.
take on the burdens of others, and then we
Yes.
push towards
Yes,
our
my darling.
resolve.
That's
The
true.
person never wanted it for themselves.
No. Yes.
And in the end, like they say in Afrikaans, dan's jy die varkie in
In
die
die
verhaal. So
Dis presies
definitely.
so. Dis
that
presies
is
so.
that is
Yeah.
true. Learn to understand what your battles are and what they aren't.
Yeah. Choose
Yeah,
actually
choose your
bat-
fights.
Choose
Choose your
battles.
fights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Choose it.
You know,
Yeah.
it's important
Yeah.
to do that,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so now what do you say is love? What is love and what is respect? So if you can maybe just, how do you see love? You know, I'm talking about love relationships. I'm talking about husband and wife relationship, right? What is love and what is respect? If we can just define in your mind your own
Yeah, how you
word.
interpret this
How will you
concept
interpret
of
it?
love and respect.
Because I think, I don't know whether you guys will agree with me, when you know what something means,
Yeah.
Right.
you will have an understanding,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And hence you will treat it correctly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if I may put it that way.
I
Yeah.
think understanding for me is a big deal.
Yeah.
And I also do understand that men and women interpret
Love.
these attributes differently.
Differently, yeah.
And they also manifest themselves differently with men and women. It's almost like we are of the same kind, but we are two different species.
That's right.
You know, sometimes my husband does things and I'm like, how did you manage to do that? And, you know, vice
Yeah,
versa. You'll be
yeah.
like, why would you do that? It's
Yes.
because we are intrinsically wired
Wired
differently.
differently,
Our
yes.
makeup and
Yes.
everything. So
Yeah.
in other
Yes.
words, when I hear love and he hears love, we might hear different things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I act out of love and he acts out of love, we may act in different ways.
Right.
So as a person,
Yeah.
what would you say is love?
Love for me is, I actually link it very closely to respect. I really do. You know, many people and many counselors love this rhetoric, and maybe I'm being controversial for saying this,
Yeah.
but I don't think that men are the only ones to call dibs on respect. I think that I, as a woman, also want respect, and many oftentimes I can interpret his respect of me as love. So I think it also depends on the type of personality. I think
Yeah.
women also want respect.
Yeah.
Because if you respect a woman, you will treat her differently. And the love part is, I know that my husband loves me, but I don't always feel his love, which means that I appreciate an active love. I really do. I appreciate when love is expressed. I appreciate when love is affirmed. I
That's true,
appreciate.
yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate when you know, love goes over and above, because I think that's my standard of love.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, mind you, I will say this thing about respect. I didn't always get the respect right.
Yeah.
Because of our different interpretations of what respect meant.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I don't find
Yeah.
confrontational disrespectful.
Yeah.
But it can be perceived as disrespect.
Disrespect.
Right.
Because then I'm confronting you on something that perhaps you don't want to be confronted
Right.
on.
Right.
And you don't like that
Yeah.
idea, or you don't like the feeling, or it's
Right.
not coming across as I intended to. So you do have to learn your the
Yeah.
ebbs and ways of your partner, and I
Yeah.
suppose that's what marriage is, and that's what commitment is.
Absolutely.
To go through that process,
so if
understanding.
I can just come in there to define it, right? So I would say love is an affection. It's a affection that
An emotion.
towards someone.
Yeah.
It's an emotion.
Yeah.
You know, because something is released from you to
Yes,
another
to another
person.
person.
So that is the affection between the two. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So I would say love is an affection,
Yeah.
right? Towards someone.
Yes,
Right.
And
it's
then I
the
would
deep
say,
feeling of it.
yeah. And then I actually went to go check respect, and I so much loved this. Respect is an admiration. It's an admiration for them based on who they are as a person. So respect is an admiration to someone, to your partner.
Right.
That's respect.
Yeah.
Right? And that tells him, oh, if she respects me, so I know who I am. You know what I'm saying? It gives them some sort of
Affirmation.
affirmation.
Right.
You
That's
see,
why it's so big with them.
Yes.
I told you, men loves affirmation. It is
Right.
important. Jy
Yeah.
kan toer met jou man
Yeah.
if you affirm him.
Yeah.
Because they are wired like that. Just to put you in a picture, men and women, as Leanne said, are not the same. So they say in the book, you will read that what is this guy's name? Dr. Emerson.
Emerson, yeah.
Dr. Emerson actually says that a woman wears pink
Yeah.
sunglasses
Okay.
and pink earphones.
Right.
Okay, so we filter
Right.
what we see and what
Right.
we hear.
So a
Right.
man wears blue sunglasses,
Right.
Okay.
and blue earphones.
Right.
So if you look at the pink here and you look at the blue there,
Yeah.
it's totally
Totally
two different colors.
Yes.
Right.
Right? So we don't think the same.
Yeah.
We don't hear the same. We don't see things
The
in
same.
the same perspective. Hence, it is
Absolutely.
important
Yeah.
to then tell one another and communicate. That is why I believe in a relationship, communication is
Key.
key.
Definitely.
It's key.
Yeah.
That is why when there's a misunderstanding, communicate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also, and you say understanding, and that for me has also been a pinnacle thing in my relationship or
Yeah.
in relationships. As soon as I understand something,
Yeah.
Yes.
then I can work it better.
Yeah.
I'll give you a very practical example. So I think that my husband and I are sometimes culturally different. And we
Culturally?
Yes, culturally different. So we come from different, like you say, upbringings.
Okay.
Like
okay.
Joan mentioned
Different
in her
cultures
intro.
in our homes. Okay.
And one of the big things when we just got married was swimming in a costume, in a bather.
Okay.
So culturally, I grew up swimming in a costume.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
would put a costume on and that
Yeah.
would be it. Culturally, he expected us to swim in like with more shorts and,
Yeah.
you know, with
Yeah.
more covering.
Right.
And we had this back and forth about, I'm like, so he says, you're basically naked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's a costume. He says, what is the difference between a costume and underwear?
Underwear.
It's
Yeah.
basically the fabric. So in other
Yeah.
words, you're naked, you're very naked. You wouldn't go outside with a costume like that. So why would you go
Right.
outside? You wouldn't go out with your underwear. So why would you go out with a costume? And I mean, by looking at you, I can understand that you understand my
Right.
perspective
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah.
Because you also got pink glasses
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And we had this back and forth. And anyway, so I'm newly married now, so I acquiesce and I put on more things while
Yeah.
swimming. And it's a strain for me, you know, and it's a struggle for me because I'm resistant to the concept
Yeah.
of that he doesn't want me to swim in this particular costume. Anyway, so we go back and forth on it. So while one day we're arguing about this back and forth, and he says, so I said, so do you find me beautiful? So he says, yes. Which was the right answer. and and so I said, so do you expect me to veil myself?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to share
Yeah.
my beauty
That's
with
right.
somebody else.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And he says, no, I will share you in your beauty, but not in your nakedness.
Yeah.
Because that is reserved for me.
Wow.
And in that moment, I understood.
Yeah.
Right.
I understood what he meant
Right.
about
Right.
having a reservation about being that exposed
Right.
in
Yes.
certain places.
Yes.
And then I respected his viewpoint,
Wow.
and then it was no longer difficult for me.
Yes.
So
yes.
that just gives you an idea about the complete different things and how it can cause conflict in a relationship.
Absolutely
But
so.
if I were to honor him,
Yes.
then I need to respect
Yes.
this is how
Yes.
he feels
Yes.
concerning me.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is actually quite a compliment.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wonderful.
I
You
think
wanted to
when
add?
once we just discuss love. So for females, we are wired differently than men.
Yes.
You know, love is for us is almost like a romantic thing. And actually initially, it is very romantic, and it's all about, you know, attraction, how we are attracted to one another, the chemistry, you know, and then the curiosity stage comes and we get to know one another, the real person, like Joan said earlier on. You get married, you know, you love together, which I don't necessarily agree with, but okay, that's so you love, and then you get to know the other person better, and then love seems to take on another
Form. Yeah.
form.
Absolutely.
It evolves.
Yeah,
It
it gets
evolves.
from honeymoon stage to another stage.
Exactly.
So it evolves.
Yeah, and so if you don't communicate, like you said earlier, if you don't communicate, you know, your feelings and your expectations actually,
Yeah.
then the love becomes sour, salty. It becomes just not, you know, okay anymore. So I think then it's like crucial whether your love is going to survive the relationship, or whether, you know, you're going to drift away from one another. And I think Dr. Emerson calls it, there's a stage that he calls it, and it reminds me so much of where you are in your relationship. I'll get to that. He said it's a deep attachment.
Right.
A deep attachment.
Right.
So you get to a deep attachment.
Yes.
Once you get over all
Yes.
these obstacles,
Yeah.
you know, you become committed to one another, and you begin to understand. And sometimes they say you even start looking like each other, like brother and sister, because you already, when you just look at your partner, you can already see what the mood is like, what the other person was going to say, you know, and that's how much you love and value that person. For me personally, I'm a person that wants an expression like, you need to touch me.
Oh, okay.
need to
So
hold me.
your love language is
My love
touch.
language is touch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, make me. It makes me feel good about
Right.
myself, and as she stable Lulu is it's not lekker
Yeah.
for me, you know, like if you just
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you're just inactive with your love.
inactive with your love, be affectionate.
Right.
And in my case, I had to actually teach my husband how to be affectionate,
Yeah.
because he was just not wired that way.
Yeah.
He's from the old school.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yeah,
That
so
is a
Olivia
very
Yeah,
can
so
Affection.
I want to go
Yeah.
on the old school and the now,
Yeah.
and bringing back to how we used to be, because
Perceived,
I
yeah.
grew up like your husband had that
the mindset
thing
of
is, right, of the costume.
Yeah, yeah.
That you must cover up.
Yeah.
Right. That's your thing, right?
Right.
Whereas my husband said, "Why must you go swim like this?
Yeah.
It doesn't look right. It's not right." That's
Yeah.
how again
Yeah,
the
other
opposite.
end, yeah.
But it's both men.
Yes,
Right.
You understand what
Right,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
right.
But he felt, no men.
Yeah.
This is old fashioned.
Yeah.
This is a culture that needs to be broken.
Right.
You can't be at the beach
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so by a
en omsloeg because people don't even check
they're
you.
not
They don't
looking
even.
at you.
You know what I'm saying?
Nobody really cares how.
And it
yeah,
was
you look
very
at the people.
difficult for me up till today
Yeah. No, it
Yeah.
is.
to
It's like an
actually
internal
go.
struggle.
Yeah, to actually go without a short.
Yeah.
Yes.
And many times he will take the short
Oh, and away from you, so you're forced
and
to.
he says, "Oh, we forgot your shorts." So he now again
yeah, push
got
to
me
break
out.
a
He
boundary.
pushed me.
Yes,
He
yes.
pushed me
Right.
to break that thing.
Right.
You know, because to him it was like, no man, this is a stigma placed on you.
Yeah. You
upon
don't have
Do you think it's
You
about
don't have
self-love
to.
as well? About you respecting one's body and just loving who you are, being comfortable in your skin.
I believe you have to be comfortable within your personal skin. You
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Whether
saying?
there's jiggles
Because
or, you know,
come
whatever.
I tell you, there's very deep stuff when it comes to that.
Yeah.
That you have to be someone else
Yeah.
to please someone else.
Right. Right.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is why I like to say, be the best you can be.
Right.
So away from that, so do you think that love is enough in a relationship?
No.
No.
I
Right.
don't.
Why would you say love is not enough?
Because just loving someone.
But the Beatles sings. They sing
Yeah, they
that
do.
song.
They say,
all you
"Love
need
is
is
all you
love.
need is
All
love."
you need is love.
No.
Yeah, that's what the
All you
Beatles
need
sing.
is
So do you agree with that?
Look,
You
I-
don't.
from one perspective, I would say the Bible teaches us that
Yeah.
love covers a multitude of sins.
Sins, yeah.
And that is when you choose love.
Right.
So there's that element about it that can be very practically true.
Right.
In a situation of conflict, if you choose love,
Yes.
you might fare better.
Yeah.
And love is very sacrificing.
Yeah.
So if you always choose love, then it will be okay.
Right.
But it's not necessarily that. And I think the practical aspect about a relationship or a dynamic comes to play there quite often. Like, for example, money.
Yeah.
If you are married to a financially irresponsible spouse,
Yeah.
it creates a lot of conflict.
Oh, definitely.
A lot of
definitely.
difficulty.
Money is one of the things
Yep.
that makes marriages.
Yeah. So I'm supposed
end
to
up in
just love
divorce.
you
You
this.
through this, yeah.
But that is not, you have to understand where your problem is
Yeah.
through this. You have to understand the necessary actions that you have to take to rectify the imbalance. So
Absolutely.
in that sense, then love won't cover you.
It won't be
Okay.
enough. Yeah.
You need to actually apply more things as an expression of love.
Right.
Yeah.
To fix or repair something that has become a difficulty or
Right.
stronghold. And it's
Yeah.
most times it's in the practical aspect of your relationship, like your economy, like history, like trauma.
Right.
Yeah.
Those things manifest, and then love needs to be able to express fully in order
Yeah.
to get to the other end of it.
Yeah.
Right, that is in a different form of love, right?
Right.
That is in a different form of
Yeah,
love. But when it comes to an affectionate love,
Yeah.
because remember we said love is affectionate,
Yeah.
right? It's a feeling of affection. So, and then what Dr. Emerson says here, he says that a woman wants love,
Mm-hmm. And
a man wants respect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
We can live on different things.
Right.
So it is vitally important for us to understand that.
Yeah.
Because, come I tell you, there's a cycle, and he calls it a crazy cycle.
Yeah.
You know, so if you don't understand that, listen here, I'm a woman, I need love,
Yeah.
right? He's the man, he needs my respect,
Right.
Yeah.
right? And if you don't respect a man,
If you withhold that, yeah. from
you
him.
are not going to get anything. So this
Yeah.
crazy cycle repeats itself.
It does.
It's a
Yeah.
cycle. It's a cycle that
Yeah.
is. If you guys can just put it on here for me, it's a cycle that I think we don't consider.
Yeah. Yeah. We take it for
We
granted.
take it for granted. We take it for granted
And
because
cycle of love and respect.
Yes,
cycle
love and respect.
And it's
Of love and
actually,
respect.
it's actually a win-win situation.
it's a win-win situation.
So-
But it looks
Violet.
like different things to different people.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So how do we manage that?
You see, it's the crazy cycle, he calls
Yeah.
it. So without love, she reacts,
Right.
That is true.
right?
Yeah.
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 Without respect, he reacts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So you will see, he'll rather walk out of the room and he'll be quiet.
Yes.
But what does respect look like when you're not in conflict? How do you manifest respect?
By taking who's the right in the in a argument? Who's right in an argument?
I don't know. I am.
We're not
Looks
always
like it, looks
men.
like it. Look, there is no winner in an argument,
Yes.
guys.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no
Yes.
winner when it comes to a relationship.
lose.
I
Yes.
cannot emphasize it more
Right.
than enough.
Yeah.
Yous are one,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yous are one.
Yeah.
So, yes, you have different brains and you have different
We wired
perspectives. You
differently,
are
yes.
wired differently,
Yeah.
but yet you are one,
Right.
right? As the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit's one,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Yet three.
Yeah.
As an egg is one, yet three.
Yeah.
My husband and I are one.
Yeah.
Hence, if I don't respect him, I'm not going to get anything out of him. And I think this is something that I never actually knew I was doing.
Yeah.
I just knew that, you know what, I have to somehow fan,
Yeah.
and I somehow have to tell him
Yeah.
how good he is at certain things.
Yeah.
And then I saw, but wow, this is actually respect, because
Yeah.
it
That's what
makes
I'm
him
saying.
understand.
What does it look like? It looks like
That's what it looks
you
like.
need to know what it looks like in order to give it effect.
You know what Dr. Emerson says? He says, when you make negative remarks about, for example, your husband's
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
goals,
Yeah.
that feels disrespectful to him.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
You
does.
understand?
Or
So-
bring up his weaknesses
Or
all the
bring
time.
up his weaknesses.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I love this one that he says,
Yeah.
the insight. He says, when you roll your eyes and say, that's really ridiculous. Or, you know, he says, that
That
to
sounds like
him
Juliet.
you You know, when I
on a live show like that.
I burst out laughing because I saw myself, you know, and, and I talk with my eyes.
Oh, okay, you expressive.
I'm an expressive person. So when he looks at them, he says, "Oh, yes,
Yeah, what's good?
Yes, Mabel. Yes, Mabel. Not Violet. This is Mabel." and I never understood that. I didn't want to understand that that is disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that men is so that's their love language, almost like respect.
Yeah.
They want to
So
be
in rolling your
respected.
eyes, do you think that's admiration?
No.
So respect is admiration, guys.
Yes.
So if you admire your guy,
Right.
right,
And give effect
and
to it.
give, can I tell you, jy kan toer met daai man.
Yeah.
That's why I'm getting things right. You see,
So the approach must be different then, Joan.
I'm going to try some things at home now.
Yeah, we have to. We have to.
But mind you, now that you say
Yeah.
this, I'm just thinking about because men, because I have a love relationship and a relationship with more than just one man. I have a son, I have a father. No, I mean in my daily life. No, I'm thinking because
know.
it's true. It's true for
I'm
my
saying
son, and it's
woo
true for my
because-
father, and it's true for my husband.
Yes, yes.
So I'm thinking I am much more sensitive to my son because I'm raising the boy.
right,
Right.
And I noticed this thing that you are talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
So I'm an encouraging mom. I think I really am. And when those words are flowing, my son is very sensitive to
Yes,
this.
yes.
And I'm thinking if I had more compassion, because your husband you kind of more harder on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And your father you have more mercy for.
Yeah,
Because
because he's older.
and because you kind of you lived with him all your life, so
Right.
you know his
Right.
ways more
Right.
intimately.
Yeah.
And my husband, because we are partners in life. We have
Right.
to be
Yeah.
strong together. We have to almost contend with one
Right.
another.
Right.
So I tend to have less grace for him.
Yes.
But I'm thinking if I would just be more sensitive, like I would for my son, then
Absolutely
I
so.
would be nicer to my
You
husband. And
actually
I would
have to
more
be.
mercy
You
for my
actually
husband.
have to do what you're doing to your father and your son,
Yes.
to
More
your
for my
husband,
husband, yes.
and
that's
more
what
to
I'm
your
saying, that's
husband
so
because he's your
interesting.
life partner.
Yes, so
Exactly,
he needs more of, of
he
me
needs
then.
more of
Yes.
you.
And you know what also causes conflict is when, just like you can, for a lack of a better word, say confess now.
Yeah, attest
you know,
to, yeah.
attest to the fact that you would be more lenient towards your son. That creates a conflict or tension between the affection or the love that the husband has for the son, because now he becomes jealous of the affection that you shows.
That's
towards-
absolutely true. I've seen that.
Is
shown
it-
towards.
I
I've seen
haven't
that.
seen that yet. My husband's very good that way.
Yeah, well,
No,
maybe-
I've seen that.
I've
I've
seen
seen
that
that.
in a
Quite
lot
I've
of
seen
it.
that.
Yes.
I've seen that with a family member of mine.
Yeah.
Okay, where you
Yeah.
Own-
where
start seeing
the
that.
husband then started resenting the son.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. Because
And
of the
up till
affection.
today,
Yeah,
the son feels rejected
Yeah.
by the father.
by the
because
father.
of the excessive mother's
because
affection.
of the mother's affection toward the
Yes.
son.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
that
their
is
their
true.
relationship and their understanding. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
It's a dangerous place to be.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't
So
do that.
you shouldn't.
There should be a balance.
Prefer your
Yes.
spouse.
Yes.
It's, I think I learned that from my dad very early on in life.
Yeah.
He would say, your mother is always right. Like to
Right.
me, he would always side with her.
Wow.
Which was a very, very strong
very good,
boundary.
yes.
And he instilled that in me, and he
Yeah.
always encourages me to keep that in my relationship.
Yeah.
It's like, you must choose your husband first.
Yeah,
You must
yeah.
choose your husband first.
Yes.
So yeah,
But
it
you
is
know-
important because it can cause
You
residual
know, the other
damage.
thing that I was also thinking, now that we're talking about the love and respect,
Yeah,
do we also want respect?
I do.
Yeah, I think we do. I think
we
we
also
do.
want-
You see, because respect is an admiration. So
Yeah, and it
you
goes a
admire
long
your
way, they
husband.
say, you know, there's a saying.
When I look at my husband, well, because of the work that he does,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like on Sunday, I looked at him with this preaching with this anointing
Yeah.
that we could sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So you had a
There's
hot
some
flushes, but not
sort.
because
There's
of the
some
heat.
sort of
Admiration.
admiration. You
Yes.
know
Yeah.
that I have toward him.
Yes.
Yes.
And you see, if I don't respect him,
Yes.
another woman will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
And then the crazy cycle
Yeah.
repeats.
Yes.
Because without respect,
Yeah.
he's going to feel that he's up to nothing. There's nothing that I do right. Yeah.
Yeah.
there's nothing that I
Yes.
say that is right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hence he's going into a shell
Yeah.
that, in the presence of my wife,
Yeah.
I
I-
cannot be me. I have to
Be something else.
be
Or she's
something
going to
else.
criticize
She's
me
going to
for that.
criticize me. If a man is criticized,
Yeah.
he's taking it as you don't respect
Disrespect.
him.
Yeah.
You take it as disrespect.
Girls, you know what
And this is major learnings, eh? No, because
know.
the manifestation of what respect looks like is
Yes,
important.
yes.
Because you don't know whether you're doing it or you don't know whether you're infringing on it.
Exactly.
Yes.
I think it's such a fine line. I didn't even know being tired at
At night.
and refusing to have
Snuggle.
intimacy with your husband, that he sees it
As
Oh,
according
they
to
feel it
doctor.
so quickly.
Yeah,
They
as
sense it.
disrespect.
Yeah.
Like not disrespect for his needs.
Yes, absolutely
Do you
so.
understand? It's
Yes.
like, and then I suppose he will later on just withhold if you don't.
Yeah, the
make
crazy cycle,
The
'cause you
crazy
didn't
cycle.
give, yeah.
Because remember, women, the way we are wired, and because of our responsibilities, there's the kids, there's the
Yeah.
you,
We can-
you
we
have
can
a day
prioritize
job.
our
You've got the
responsibilities.
dishes, and so you actually need to then also communicate your needs and say, look, in order for me then to be available for you and to be fit and to be ready all the time,
Yes.
Ready for action.
ready for action,
Yeah.
there need to be a sharing,
Yes.
a mutual
Oh, okay.
sharing of the
Because you
responsibilities.
felt like these are things I have to
Yeah.
do, which cause me to neglect you in
Right.
these areas. So let's share that
Because
so I can be
you're
better.
tired, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
you're
so
tired.
you share the responsibilities, and it helps.
Yeah,
it helps a lot
because that thing where we think that men cannot do dishes, they can't do the
Gone are those
laundry.
days.
Gone are those days.
Gone,
Those
gone.
are the old school way
Totally
of thinking.
gone, yeah.
There's nothing that's not going to affect your masculinity if you put the washing in the the dryer or the
I was telling you something funny.
washer or-
My husband in the week, he, he told me something about myself. He says, you really need to work on your foreplay. So I'm like, why? Because I can be like exceptionally practical. I'm like,
Right.
tonight at 7. So he says, you really need to work on that.
So
Yeah, it's like, like ease into it or, be flirtatious about it. I'm like, 7.
that's more
To
blue,
the
that's
point,
more
to the
blue way
point.
of thinking. The blue
Now to
way.
go to come back to this,
Yeah.
right? I just want to because I've learned a lot from this. To be quite
Yeah.
honest with you, reading the
Yes,
book, so hence I couldn't even go further into the book. To
Yeah.
be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
You just pondered on this.
I pondered on this, and
yeah.
it made a lot of sense to me.
Right.
That if he doesn't love me, if your husband don't love you,
Yeah.
you sense that.
Yeah.
And we as women like to say, he's not the same like he used to be.
So true.
And yes, because you want the action,
Yeah.
as you said.
Yeah.
You love that
Right.
about that makes me feel loved.
Yeah.
So a man needs to know, if there's a man out there, you need to know what makes your wife tick to feel more loved.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
And yes, as the years go, I'm married for 38 years, and I can't expect the man and even myself to be the same as when I dated,
Yes.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But in your love relationship, you become more mature,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of facets and a lot of things that you've learned throughout the years.
Yes.
And now you know what to throw out and what to keep inside.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it is important then, in that, when it's easy to respect you, husband,
Yeah.
if you love me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's easy for the man to be
Affectionate
affectionate
Yeah.
and love you
when you respect.
when you respect
That's
him.
so true. My husband is like early on said from the old school. So he cannot stand a woman that raises her voice. So Dr. Emerson also mentions
Yeah.
here. He says that wives can humbly and softly say to their spouses, like, when you want closeness, when you want to work, when you work in your shop at night,
Right.
it makes me feel unloved.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
And I need that face-to-face time with you.
Sure.
So it's a matter of, articulating and expressing and communicating once again your needs, what it is that you want.
Yeah.
But in a loving and in a soft,
Caring way.
caring tone.
Right.
Um,
But you find also
yeah.
there's different couples, right?
Yeah.
It's totally different couples.
Yes.
If
Yeah,
I'm
the
now,
dynamic
if I'm
is
now
very
thinking, it's
different.
very different.
Right.
If I'm thinking of the counselings that I did,
Yes.
over the years,
Yeah.
Yeah, the
with
different
couples,
personalities
the
that you were
different
introduced to.
personalities.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Sometimes a man blocks out. Sometimes, for instance, a lady is married to a man who don't show affection.
Yes. Or who grew up differently.
He
like,
doesn't understand the
He
He
doesn't
doesn't even
understand it.
understand the
Doesn't
importance
understand
of
it.
love. He doesn't understand the importance of affection. And then those men, for me, I've seen it also in counseling. It's like they understand your softness and your humility as a weakness.
Absolutely.
So they trample on you.
Absolutely.
They abuse
It can
you.
become abusive
They
at
become
the end
abusive.
of the
And
day.
then we go back to the
And
cycle.
then we go
Go
back
back,
to the
yeah.
cycle.
Because you will never get your love, and you're trying to give the man respect,
Yes.
but you're not getting what
You're
you
not
need.
getting the love that
and
you
it's
need.
very difficult
Yeah.
to respect someone who don't love you.
Right.
It
It's a
is.
difficult
true.
task to
So
do
true, Joan.
because if your husband don't love you
Yes.
and you feel unloved,
Yes.
Makes you better.
it
Yeah.
makes you feel
Resentful.
yeah,
Yeah,
it makes you
bitter.
feel
Yes.
like something's not
And you don't feel good
something's
enough.
wrong with
Something's
me
wrong
because
with you.
sometimes
Yes.
you
And women do
tend
that.
to
They take it on
women
themselves.
women
Yeah.
take,
You question
take it on,
yourself.
on
Yes.
themselves
Yeah.
Yeah.
and hence
not-
some woman who's out there
You're right.
becomes more and more
Yeah, it's
out there.
amplified.
Yeah.
because I don't get it here.
Right.
I'll go and get it there.
Right.
Yeah.
So with my bubbliness, with
Yeah.
the way I am, I don't want some people too close because now they put up fences.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
That nobody is going to come between these walls
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I set for myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to protect
You know,
my
to
heart.
protect my heart. Exactly it. Because guys, if you look at it, tension have a way of tearing down our self-esteem,
Yeah.
our self-image.
Yes.
That's what tension does.
It does.
Because afterwards we don't really know who we are.
It affects your
It
body
affects
as well.
you. It affects you.
affects
So
you
you
physically.
can't respect then
Yes.
because you don't feel
Right.
that you are loved.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of women out there
Yes.
who feels like that.
Yeah.
That I don't feel loved.
That's right.
But let's talk about expectations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because for me, big words here are understanding. If you don't understand what's happening, then
Right.
you'll end up there.
Yeah.
And if you don't manage your expectations,
Right.
Right.
you will also fall into disappointment permanently.
Absolutely
yes.
so.
And it's like there are things that we expect that
Yeah.
we never verbalize,
Right.
and that we sanction
so
them
true.
for not fulfilling.
That's so true.
So it's if I have this expectation
Yeah.
and then my husband doesn't meet up to
Fulfilled
it,
it,
and
yeah.
then I'm like,
Yeah.
How should he know?
yes.
How
yeah.
must he know?
Yes.
You've got
and,
to-
and we must also manage those expectations. Are they reasonable? Have I communicated?
Yes.
Are they realistic? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
is it maybe just something that I want and
Right.
something that he's not aware of?
Yes.
Yeah, and sometimes you want things. Say, for instance, you now want a red bag.
Yeah.
There's
And-
no
and
money
you know
for the
there's
red
no-
bag.
Yeah.
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 Manage
Get
that
what I'm saying?
expectation.
Right.
And you get upset because he now just bought something that was needed.
Yeah.
He put in lights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me go that way.
Electricity, yeah.
Electricity.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then you can
Right.
then you can have an whole narrative. I'm
Right.
neglected. You never
Yes.
buy me anything.
Yes.
You don't
Yes.
care about me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because of
So-
an expectation.
Because of an expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also never verbalized the
Yeah.
expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is important. So that is why Dr. Emerson, to refer back to his book,
Yeah.
he calls it that we speak in codes.
Yeah.
He
That
says,
is true.
husband and wives speak in codes.
Yes.
So what is the
That's
code
why I'm
that
direct, you see. But my husband told me I must have more games. So.
and I think it is important for us to understand, to actually, how can I say? I don't want to use of affirmation, man. Respect a man's deepest value. Respect him.
Yeah.
See the value that is within him.
Yeah.
And I'm talking from a woman's perspective because I'm a woman, right? And I'm giving you tips here, guys. I'm giving you tips.
Yeah.
You have to respect a man's deepest value. If you see the value in the man,
Right.
verbalize it
Yes.
to him.
Yeah.
Tell him, you know what, I appreciate you for A, B,
Right.
and C.
Right.
I appreciate you for protecting our family.
Yes,
I
being a
appreciate you for
provider.
providing for
Yes,
our family.
yes.
I appreciate you for
Yeah.
standing up early in the morning. You are
Yes.
not a lazy man.
So true.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
always like to tell my husband that he's not a lazy
Yes,
man. He gets
yes.
up early in the morning.
Yeah.
He does certain things that
Right.
sometimes it boggles my mind for the
Yes.
things that how he fights for his family.
Right.
And that's what also in the book he says, how a husband wants to be the protector and the
Yes.
provider.
Yes. Yes.
And many times when a woman, just to throw that in before
Yeah.
we close the show, if a woman earns more than the husband,
Yeah.
don't think that you can become what
Yeah.
God intended for him to be.
Right. Yeah.
Because this is not far-fetched. Love and respect is not a far-fetched thing.
Yeah.
If you go and you read the word, you read the Bible in Ephesians 5 verse 33, where the Lord says that a husband
Should love
his wife,
as he
and the
loves
wife
himself.
as his life loves himself.
Yeah.
And a wife needs to respect
Respect
her husband.
Yeah.
So it is not something that's sucked out of your thumb.
No.
It is biblical. You know what
Yes,
I'm saying?
yes.
So hence we can just follow those principles
Yes.
and see that, you know what, my marriage will never
Yeah.
go and end up in the divorce court.
Yeah.
Because this is what I've chosen.
Right.
And if you chose the guy and you are together right now, can I tell you, irrespective of, you can still do the principles of the Bible.
Yeah.
And if he does not love you enough, tell him, I would love you to do this more often.
Yeah.
I would love you to, because I feel loved.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. When you help me with the
When
children.
you help me with the
Yeah.
chores at
Yeah,
home,
at home.
Yeah,
I
and
feel
sometimes I don't say women take advantage of the
Yes,
man,
yes.
because some women do take advantage.
So
It
true.
becomes the chore of the husband then,
Yes, yeah.
when he helps you with different
Yeah.
things, which I feel is wrong.
Yeah.
Know your place. Know
That's
what
right.
what you also have to do, because it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
A relationship is two people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not one. One can't be
No,
a
absolutely.
relationship.
Yes.
You can't have a relationship just within yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, balance the efforts, please.
Yes.
Balance
No,
it.
no,
It's
it's
important.
true, it's very
Otherwise,
important,
yeah.
if this cycle repeats itself, because
Yeah.
yes, every now and then, when there's something happening, when there's a misunderstanding, guys,
Yeah.
you will feel, as a husband maybe, that she did not respect you because she raised a voice.
Yeah.
The wife will feel unloved because you will say, but, if I look at A, B, and C, if I look at that wife,
Yeah.
she's doing this for her
Yeah.
husband.
Compare,
I'm not that
yeah,
wife. Don't
yeah.
compare me with anybody.
Right.
We are the two who's making it
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we can learn from one another, but don't compare me to someone else, because that makes me feel unloved.
Yeah.
And that brings the tension,
Yeah, comparison will definitely bring tension.
It will bring
Definitely.
tension.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is why it's
And it's
important.
hurtful.
Yes,
It's hurtful.
is.
It's painful.
Yeah.
It's painful if someone
Yeah.
tells you that
Yeah.
you're
I
not
wish
good
you can
enough.
be like so and so. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very painful.
Definitely.
If you tell your husband, you are not just, if you tell your wife, right, or you tell, not your wife, if you tell somebody, another woman in your presence,
Yeah.
that you are not just beautiful, you are intelligent also. Those words stick or somewhere in the memory subconscious memory.
Yeah.
In your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
So you will always try to be that intelligent woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
You will
Yeah.
always try to. I'm making
Yeah.
an example.
You know, it's true. You'll give credence to what you've been called.
Yeah.
If something was identified, you'd
Yeah.
lend to it.
Yeah.
And that is why, ministers often also say, it's not my favorite thing to repeat, but I'm going to repeat it because it represents a
Yeah.
principle which is true, is that the man in the relationship is represented by the sun, and the woman is represented by the moon, and the moon doesn't shine unless the sun shines on her.
Right.
And it
Wow.
represents what you're
Yeah.
saying. It's like there's no life on the moon. She has no light of her own.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
when the sun shines on the woman, then
Yes.
you can see the moon in all its glory, basically.
Absolutely
Yeah.
so.
You know, another thing that also creates a lot of conflict between men and women is when a man looks at another woman, like a husband looks at another woman.
Yeah.
And you see him looking at another woman.
Yes.
And I think what Dr. Emerson says here is to approach your husband and then say to him, it makes me feel unloved.
Yes.
When you look at another
That's
woman or
right,
not
yes,
good enough.
yes.
So what the husband's response then would be is like, you know what, you are the most beautiful person in the whole world.
Yeah.
Yes, I look, but
And you also want
I
that
was just-
affirmation.
you want
now
that
and then you
affirmation.
want that affirmation.
and that would stop a whole, continuous argument of,
yes, it
of
will.
the husband looking every time if he sees a pretty woman,
I don't mind, though.
Carl,
and my husband
I
loves
do.
tall women.
Is
He-
it?
Yeah, he loves length.
Yeah, I would probably nudge him and say, there's your
Lovely.
type.
Yeah, then I say, I say, wow, and especially if they built nice.
Is it? You also
I would
like
say
the good
to him,
build.
I would say to him, shoo, that girl is smart.
Yeah, yeah. You should say it before he does.
Okay.
So I do that. I actually do that. But sometimes, learning from counseling, sometimes women wants to hear it from their husbands
Yes.
that you're beautiful.
Yes.
Yes.
Because you hear him saying to others, and especially if the man is, how can I put it, out there person.
Yes, yes.
Someone who likes to kiss and hug.
Yeah, an
Someone who likes-
outwardly affectionate
An
person.
affectionate person.
Outgoing,
and you
Yeah.
maybe not that type of person.
Yeah.
As
He needs
the
to
as the wife.
reaffirm you,
He
yeah.
needs to reaffirm you.
He does.
definitely.
Otherwise, you'll count the seconds on the hug. You hug that one
Yeah.
for 3 seconds. That one you looked at 4 seconds. So far. Yeah. No, it is. But you know,
okay,
but-
we passed our time, guys. So I just want to greet the people online. Thank you so much, Gail. Also, for the people who's actually talking to us, online, I have a gift for you by the end of Feb, right? I do have it. I already bought it. So I have it in my office. So
Yeah.
at the end of Feb, mark my words, I'm going to check. You're going to get that gift. You're going to
Yeah,
get that
yeah.
gift. And I can already see who's going to get the gift, right?
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much, Gail. I like what Gail says. Gail says, I wish I knew how to be Dukbek. Because in the suburbs, they say, practice the pause. So she's saying, keeping quiet is not my strength.
and it is. It's difficult.
Yes.
eh?
Yeah, you do find. Now with me, I go silence, huh?
Yeah.
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 I go silence and I wait for the
Yeah.
opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
I've learned that.
Yeah.
I've learned that because
Yeah.
I was like that.
Yeah.
I was never in the space of how can I put it, out there.
Yeah.
With people, and I was always the background type of girl.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to come out of myself,
Yes,
or
yeah.
I am out of myself.
Okay.
I can
officially
take
made it
I
out.
can take the
Yes,
stage. I can do certain things, but
Yeah.
I was never
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I always chose the corner in my mother's house when she gets visitors.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is why I have the marks, the burning marks, because we had the combustion,
Oh,
the stove.
You went to go in.
And then I go into the corner. So that was me. So Eileen, good morning, Pastor Eileen. Yay! Good morning, Lady S. She say, morning, beautiful ladies. She says, love for me is a verb. It's action.
Right, love in
It's
action.
a doing word.
Yes.
Oh, you can see that's my girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pastor Lee, it's action. I agree. Sometimes confronting an issue or situation can be taken as disrespect. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. And then Gail says, she say, my compromise on the swimsuit. I swim without extra cover in places when no one knows me. Like when we travel overseas.
Yeah.
If I'm in Durban, I
Yeah.
find myself covering up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also true. That's I'm no house like that. No?
Yes, yes, yes.
And then she also says, you need to love to start, but I don't think love can sustain and cover
Yeah.
all things.
Yeah.
Love can help when you approach situations.
Yeah.
For example, love in itself would not be enough to dishonesty and disrespect,
Yeah.
which to me means there was no love.
Yeah.
Your love went somewhere else.
act in love.
You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yeah.
And hence you can now be,
Be
disrespectful and dishonest.
Yeah.
Lorenz Tolls, thank you so much. I read something that goes like this. We should work harder at understanding one another compared to working hard at disagreement. Oh, I fully agree. I
Yeah,
fully agree.
yeah.
So thank you so much, girlfriends. We really appreciate you, and we thank you for tuning in this morning. So
Yes.
we actually came to the end, and this was such a lekker topic. I didn't even touch the surface,
Yes.
the things that I really
Yeah.
wanted to talk
Yeah.
about.
So
I wanted to
much
speak on the hierarchy,
Yes.
you know, of the marriage, actually, and
Yeah.
which I think is a very important thing
Yes.
in the
Couldn't
marriage.
agree
But
more.
look out for it. We will definitely come back to it. Sometime in this year. We love you. Your last remarks quickly, girlfriends, because we're over our time.
Well, it was a fun show, and I hope that you are successful in any love relationship that you are in. I don't find myself qualified to speak on this at all. In fact, I think I'm an eternal student of love.
Right.
So I hope that you've enjoyed our honesty and our sharing of our personal accounts, because that's how we've loved, learned, and made mistakes and grown. But I am happy in love. I have found the love of my life, and we are enjoying such a fun season. And he's my boo. And so if he's listening, I love you, and thank you for the strides that we've made in our relationship.
Yes.
Thank you for loving me and carrying us through some difficult times. And I can't wait to see what you're going to turn into in 5 years. I'm excited.
Yes, awesome,
I'm
wonderful.
excited and I'm encouraged. And yes, thank you for the advice. I think for me, the biggest thing here is understanding. I think the
Yeah.
more I understood certain things,
Yeah.
the better I was equipped
Yes.
to
Yeah.
carry them out.
Yeah.
Right.
And there are many things, there are many mistakes that I've made in ignorance. And so that's why I love just listening to wisdom and listening to
Yes.
experience, because it
Yeah.
definitely does help. And if you would open up your
Absolutely
ears
so.
to someone who can help you and counsel you and give you a shape in your relationship, you would be better for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, from my side, I believe that we need to be lifelong learners, and that love is something that grows.
Yes.
You know, with time, and as you get to know your better half, the other person, you also get to love them more,
Yes.
or less if you're not getting your needs are not met, your expectations are not met.
Yeah.
So like Pastor Lee said, and Pastor Joan, you know, communication is key. Keep the
Definitely so.
communication lines open.
Definitely.
Marriage is a commitment, a commitment. So we cannot always go on feelings as well, because the feelings will sometimes dwindle, the love will not always be there due to circumstances, and the respect. But then we need to come back to the commitment, that we made a commitment before God, and that we need to fight for our relationship or our marriage,
Yeah.
and enjoy the rewards of a godly marriage, or a godly relationship.
Right.
And then energize each other, encourage
that's
one
good.
another, energize each other with the love and respect. Now that we know better, we will obviously
Okay.
do better. I believe that.
Thank you so much, girlfriends. I just want to read this to you. Marriages are perpetually in a state of transition, so which means continually moving from one season to another, perhaps not annually as in nature, but just as certainly and consistently. So sometimes we find ourselves in winter, where we're discouraged, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we find ourselves in spring, we find ourselves in summer, and we find ourselves in autumn.
Yeah.
So enjoy the season that you're in, and don't
Right.
make it a time to go back to the crazy cycle, but try to keep the love and respect for one another. I love you. God loves you best. Go in the peace of the Lord. Mwah.
In the shadows, as I look upon my life, in the shadows, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dreams. As I look upon my life, in the shadows, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dreams.